estate, let's get it done. Clicks and reviews, we're number one. Reputation's key, we'll show you how. AI's the future, the time is now.
Morning.
Good morning. Want to hear about my Google ad, whatever, that I got in the middle of the night?
Oh, is it a win?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't think so. I looked them up on Forewarned. Um, I mean the questions. Well, we're coming to Miami between the 8th and the 12th, and we would like we would like to find an agent that can show us around. It's like, huh? Never gave me their name, never. And I said, are you going to rent or buy? And they go, well, we're going to rent it first and then we're going to buy. I go, well, my name is Mia Zoll and what is yours? Thank you, Bailey. So I said, they named every, like, like not subdivision, but every suburb in all of Miami. Okay. And, and I mean, it's like funny. They want, pet friendly. They have two people, four dogs, and they want new construction, top notch bathrooms. And there was something else. Now, tell me that's,
Top notch.
yeah, top notch and new construction. Forgot about that. For three
This was in
thousand
the middle of the
dollars.
night? Like, what does the middle of the night mean? 12 a.m.? 2, 4?
2:30, 2:30.
2:30. And it was a call?
No, it was. I just happened to be up. I fell asleep and then woke up, and they've been googling me ever since. It like I haven't. They go, well, you can call us at. Um, so they quit, and they say the same things. You ask them a question, they come back with the same stuff. I mean, and then we have to pay for that?
It's a local services ads message?
Yeah, and what I thought I would do is I would like send a
If it's in the
screen.
same string, if it's in the one, like if they keep going to your ad and like clicking as if they're a new lead and messaging you or something, then for sure
Um,
you would want to talk to Google about that. Um,
well, I
if
hope
it's
I
if
don't.
it's in the same string, they just keep messaging back and forth. It doesn't like charge you more
Right,
for that,
right.
but
But
you're
the point
probably paying
is,
for that lead though. Yes.
right, you're paying for the lead. And the thing is, I looked them up on Forewarned. Okay. And they're telling me they live in, I always do this first, that they live in Houston, Texas. And when I look them up, I haven't matched the name with the number, but they live in California in like, in like a rental. If you look it up on two
Sure.
people, it'll
Look
tell
up the
you,
street view. It doesn't
right, right.
it doesn't add up. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the easiest way is just to call them. That's usually the first thing you want to do anyway with a local services ad. If you get a message, you want to immediately try to get the number, which they'll give to you later, which you obviously found that they
No,
don't give
no,
to you
they
right
put it
away.
in. Yeah, they put it in there. I don't want to waste
They
time
gave
with
it, the
this.
person gave it to you.
Yeah, the person gave it to me. But, I think they're just moving here. I don't want to assume anything, but who knows? They went from homestead, which is, land and it's okay, to Coral Gables and to, I mean, to Door. They went, it's like they're not real. I mean, you can almost tell. But
Yeah.
I guess I'll call him, but I'm going to take a screenshot and show it to local ads. But, obviously the AI will read it and they'll decide. And if
Yeah,
you,
I mean, screenshot's not going to do anything. All you can do there is you rate the lead and go back to my last 2 to 8 episodes. I feel like I've been talking about this a lot, but rate the lead, whether you got charged right or wrong for it, but
right,
especially when it's wrong, rate it, which are the same choices as dispute used to be, and then also then archive it and put it in the trash and get it out of your life and move on with your life. But yeah, I think you did your duty, because sometimes they do seem fake, but then they end up being real, especially on the
Right.
phone. It's like because people just don't know how to talk to people, I guess. I don't, it's like, what is happening here? Like, oh, this is an actual person that needs help. But yeah, well, thanks for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. But I thought it was funny and apropos. So,
Yeah,
anyway.
make sure you go rate it. That's the
Oh,
important,
I will.
the action step from that, probably. All right. Welcome to Google for Real Estate. I'm Derek Bixler, real estate agent, outdoor adventure sportsman, volunteer firefighter, local SEO guy, and Google Gemini geek. Let's get into it. AI. Ask me anything. I will start. We kind of did a little bit of ask me anything or sharing there with Mia, which was nice. But if anybody has any questions, Google business profile, local services ads, other Google ads, websites, web page creation, SEO, article writing, blah, 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 any of that kind of stuff. If you have any questions here, if you're here live on Clubhouse, speak now or speak up later. I don't care if you have questions and interject. But does anybody have anything right now? I thought Mia was going to give us a win there for a second, but it turned out not being a win. But that's all right. I
Well,
do.
wait till it's done. I got another one. At first I didn't think. I thought, okay, come on. 25-year-old single guy, and we went out twice, and he wanted to make sure. I'm waiting for him this morning to see if he wants to write an offer on this property. So
Oh, sweet.
yeah, so you got
Yeah.
to
So
take.
that's a
You got to
buyer. That's
take.
from local services ads also.
You have to take the ones that they charge you for and kind of swallow them and hope that you'll get one that works.
I want to clip that and replay it over and over and over again for everybody. Just keep playing that over and over and over again, because you do any lead game, you have to swallow it, and a lot of people have problems swallowing it and they want to dwell on it, or sometimes you get a few that you're wrongly, like I usually tell people, you'll probably pay for 5 to 10 paid leads, whether they're good leads. Sometimes they're like okay leads that are just down the road or not great right now or whatever, but you're probably going to pay for 5 or 10 before you get to one that's like a buyer right now that you actually go show houses and sell one to, or a seller that you go do a CMA for or whatever. So just because you're paying for leads doesn't mean they're stellar. Sometimes they're completely wrongly charged, and sometimes they're just like, I mean, that's chargeable. That's somebody that's calling about buying or selling, but they suck or whatever. So yeah, but that's good.
I
And
was
then that
getting
pays one deal. It's
rentals.
what we do, pays for months and months of running the ads. What'd you say?
I was getting like rental after rental, and I would go back to, and I even called them. I go, look, it is not on my services. And if somebody goes, well, do you rent? You hang up. If you don't hang up on them right away, they'll charge you. And I think it's rude that, you can't say, well, I'm sorry, maybe you should try, 'cause then they'll charge you. So
You just
finally,
act like AI, Mia.
yeah.
The way I do it, I think they think I'm AI almost. You just have to have a script. Sorry, that is not a service I provide. I can't help you. I'm sorry. And then like if they say anything else, you just repeat the exact same thing verbatim. And by usually at the second time, they're like, oh, and they're, you can tell they're processing it. Like, am I talking to a person right now, or can they not? And they're like, okay. And you're like, okay,
That's a
thank you,
great
goodbye.
idea. Then they
And you
won't
just
think
say it a
you're
third
rude.
time. And you feel like a jerk. You do. And here and there, you might just be not like, this sounds like somebody that really needs my help, or for whatever reason, you just want to eat it. Or maybe it sounds like they could buy, oh, I'm military and I'm a physician in the military or something, where it sounds like they could buy, but they're asking about renting. You might be like, well, or they're asking about renting temporarily or something. But yeah, expect to pay for some that you don't want to before you get one. But again, with what we do, one deal usually pays for months and months and months of running the ads and the bad ones to get to the good ones. So usually worth it, especially right now. Now is when you get the getting's good, right? These next started about a month or well, started the new year kind of, but a month or so ago, and then for a couple more months, be the busy time with ads and things. So yeah, awesome, Mia. Thanks for sharing. I got 2 leads too from traditional Google search. So we had some local services ads a local services ad win from Mia. And then I got 2 traditional Google search, one physician, and these were both emails that I got from the people. And I didn't follow the whole chain of events of how they ended up emailing me, but I'm pretty sure it was via my website because I'm not sure how else they would have done it. And I do ask them explicitly now when I get things like that. Did you find me on Google search, on an AI, or some other way? And you have to distinguish like Google search and both these people. I like to say Google search and then also say or an AI because usually they know if they use like Gemini AI or some Google AI thing. Anyhow, both these people said they found me on regular Google search. So assuming that's correct, they found me in regular Google search, found my Google business profile, clicked on the website, and then likely found my email on my website to then email me, which is again more website leads. A lot more happening these days. And I don't know if people are just more open to doing it or like a lot of more contact forms and emails and things like that from websites this year. So that trend is continuing with the websites that I am touching. And hopefully it is for other people too. Obviously, we've talked about what to do with your website and SEO and stuff in the past, but make sure your website is a bomb basically, and make sure your about page and your reviews pages are super robust like we always talk about in here. Pretty much come
Real
off mic. Did you have a
quick,
question? Yeah.
I always ask them, well, how did you find me? Well, obviously, I got a Google, this is a Google call. But one guy screenshot it for me. And he goes, well, you weren't the first one I called. The first one I called never got back to me. Yeah, I understand why. But it was nobody great. I mean, it was like me and 2 other people, and they weren't, top realtor in Fort Lauderdale. They were just 2 other people. So if that helps.
Yeah, that's another great lesson there. Mia dropping dropping all the gems. I might have to title this episode after Mia's gems or something. Um, yeah, answering the phone is one thing you said there. They reached out to other people and you answered the phone, or the other people didn't call them back or whatever. That is very common that
Yeah. Well,
happens.
I stopped answering the phone because it was always spammers and I decided, you know what? Who cares? And I started answering the phone, and it it works. And yeah, there's still a lot of, this is the police of whatever. It's like, fine, bye.
Yeah, what is with the police? And they start at 8 a.m. They start the second allowable by law, I guess 8 a.m. That's when they start here. What's with the police? Why are the police the most annoying spam people on the planet? There's a stand-up routine there
No,
somewhere.
in Florida,
It's like,
it's
what is with
it's
that?
the window and door people, and we've been asked to call you by. It's like, you're spamming me. You called me 4 times. So
Yeah. Well, Mia, we've talked about the solution in here. Maybe you didn't hear, but you just need to get your Google Voice number set up on your phone. And then anytime you get a call on that Google Voice number, you know it's a local services ads call. Because then because sometimes you're in the middle of stuff, because there is lots of spam, and I had to do it myself. Lots of spam, and you don't want to answer your phone every time, but you do because it might be a lead. At least that way, when it is possibly a lead, and you can stop or run out or whatever. I still try to answer the other calls too, because if you get a free call from your website or from your Facebook, or somebody finds your regular phone number somewhere, you need to be answering it. So I usually still answer it, but it is nice to know. And you can kind of like take a deep breath and like 1 second to breathe and get your game voice on. Hello, this is Derek. Blah, blah, blah. I'm chipper. I'm eager to help you, even though you're probably spam. I'm going to be chipper until I know for sure. And then once you know for sure, either way, then you're like, sorry, can't help you. Goodbye. Nice. Yeah, Mia dropping gems. Anybody else? Anything? Mia, anything else?
I'll think about it, but I mean, this has been collecting up and like, I can, a lot of times right now I can only listen. So, I like, and it just happened last night. And then he just sent me another one. I'll have to read it, but I think it's a joke. I mean,
Yeah, it
it's
could be
like,
a bot or something.
yeah, well, it could be. It's like these dating services, at one point, exactly. They all have the same script. It's funny. It's like, yeah, I want to meet for coffee. Oh no, I can't live in a third world country.
New meaning to long distance relationship there. All right, here it is. All right, so blah blah blah. Yeah, I got 2 leads last week. Did I finish saying what they were? A physician relocation buyer that I referred because they wanted to go out. It was Friday that I got it, and they wanted to go out Sunday morning, and I go to church Sunday mornings, and it's time with my mom and with the grandkids and all that stuff. So, and I just didn't. I hate short notice like that. I get my scramble face on, like, oh, that's a lot to like. I had like shuts down any plans and all kinds of stuff. So, anyhow, I referred that, but that's a pretty good referral. It's a physician moving to town, probably be like a 700 ish, I think is what the person I referred it to said. Um, and that was actually via a recruiter. A recruiter found me on regular Google, emailed me, and then I connected the referral agent with the buyer. So anyway, that was from regular Google, and then a listing in Boiling Springs, which is I cover Carlisle, and then Boiling Springs is a neighboring town. So my 2 towns that I'm always trying to target SEO wise are Boiling Springs and Carlisle. So a listing in Boiling Springs, which is great. Always like to get the stuff in the place, and that is like the bomb place around here too. Great to sell in, and things are going up, up, up there. And this is in a little village that's historic, so that was great. Already went over there and did a CMA, so we'll see what happens with that. Bunch of a lot of big foundation issue actually. She bought it for cheap, but it's worth way more than she bought it for it owed, so there's tons of equity there. We'll see what happens. I'm actually hoping she does nothing to it, and then somebody can flip it, because it's one of those that like she wants to put the new concrete wall up in the basement herself, rebar and everything, and I was like, don't do that. That sounds like a terrible idea. Even if you've done it before or you're good at it, if you're going to sell that thing ever, even if it's not soon, they're going to want to know. They're not, I did that. They want to know Keystone Foundations did that, and here's the warranty, yada, yada. Anyhow, that's what I got. I think those were both. No, it was Thursday, Friday, something like that. Anyhow, a couple leads, and now into the tips and news and things. Gemini, if you've gone into your Gemini app, or if you haven't and you've been waiting to possibly switch over from a different AI, a lot of people are switching from GPT to Gemini and or Claude. Most people kind of using both because a lot of people have the Google Workspace and are in the Google world with Gmail and all this stuff. So they end up using Gemini a lot, but then Claude would be the supplemental or the other one that they use. But Gemini is making it super easy now, or trying to coax more people to leave other ones to come to them. If you open your Gemini app, and mine, even though I've been here for a while and I don't need to do it, it still prompts me every time I open it on my phone. It says new, bring your memory with you. basically you click it and it gives you a prompt to give to your AI to output your memory or edit everything you need, and then you can put it in there. And you can actually, I haven't tried to do it, I don't know how to do it, but it must be somewhat simple if they're telling everybody to do it. So there's a prompt that you can do, but then you can also like download your chat history somehow, and then you can upload your chat history to Gemini. So you can literally take most all of the memory from wherever you're taking it from to Gemini. And Claude also does that. If you go into Claude, it also gives you a prompt to like, here's a prompt to get your stuff from the other platform to bring it over. So Gemini they're trying to make it easier for people to do that. So if you've been waiting to switch, there's your reason to switch. Upgrades to music generation. Talked about a little while ago that you can make music in Gemini now. You just go into Gemini and click the little thingy, create music, just like you would create video or create whatever. And you click create music. And it was very short. I think they were 30 seconds or a minute or something like that. And now they have extended them out to 3 minutes. And if you're on a free version, I think there's still going to be the short length ones. But if you are paying the $20 a month or higher for Google AI, you should get the 3 minutes worth of songs. And they've improved a lot, not just the length, but before they were garbage. It would do what you wanted. Tell I want a pop song with a male vocal featuring a choir and violin, this many beats per, whatever you told it, it would kind of do it. But it was very flat, the beat. There was no dynamics and up and down or crescendos or choruses or hooks or like build up. There was no build up was the big thing that was left out, was building up to, you know, the big moment with the high note and the thing where everybody gets emotional and then the song kind of ends. So the ups and downs and all the nuances of music, it sucked at. It was just kind of like the same beat, flat for the whole 30 seconds, and the vocal would be kind of the same way. But now it's come a long, long way from that. I mean, night and day from what it was before. If you were here when I opened the room, or you can go back and listen to the recording if you're on Clubhouse, it won't be on Spotify or the other stuff. But if you're listening to the replay on Clubhouse at the beginning, you could hear the song. I made a country song for this. Make me a Google for real estate, soulful country song for my podcast, Google for Real Estate, which is info, tips, tricks, hacks, news, etc. about Google business profiles, local services ads, blah, blah, blah. Majestic, moving, inspirational, featuring a choir. And it made male vocal. I think I said that. And it made a pretty good song. So if you want to hear it, you can go back and listen to it. However, it's like on the edge of being good. I don't think it's still not as good as Suno or some of the other ones yet. At the pace it's going, pretty soon it will be. Next upgrade, it probably will be, because it's missing one thing. It's like right on the edge, but if you listen to any song it makes, and you can go make some and try it for yourself. And I wish I could play. I guess I could play that one again. I'm not going to waste 3 minutes doing that, but just make some yourself. You should be able to do it for free, even if they're the 30-second ones, and see how they are. But they always leave you, the payoff never comes. Like the second, like a doon, 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 and then it's like should go to like boom, burn, like you're waiting for something to happen, but it just kind of continues. It is way better, like I said, with there is build up and crescendos and dynamics and breaks and choruses and stuff. So the composition of the song has gotten a lot better, but it's still, there's like this thing you can't really put your finger on, but your brain notices it for sure, that it's not like, when you listen to music, you want the payoff. If it's building up to like the last note should be that one note and it doesn't come, or it should lead into a certain thing and it doesn't, then it kind of feels wrong in your brain. So you can play around with that and listen to it, and I'm pretty sure you'll see what I mean. But night and day, and super fun. If you have kids would like it. My kids, it's always farts and poop. And it's not very good at making those songs, actually, or not the way they want it. They just want it to say fart, poop lots of times or something. I don't know. I don't know when that goes away. All right, what else we got here? So music getting a lot better. Apple, not related to Google, the nemesis, but Apple is expanding offerings. Not really the nemesis, but because they recently made a deal to use Gemini to power their AI stuff on the back end. So once again, just like they've been in bed with Google search for years and years, they're in bed with Google for that too. So kind of nemesis is as far as mobile phones go, but as far like they're in bed together for sure. Two of the biggest, them two together makes like the monopoly of the era. Well, not really with AI companies and Elon, but anyhow, Apple expanding offerings to small businesses. I forget what podcast they mentioned this, but I had to take notice. They're starting Apple Business. I think that's exactly what they called it, Apple Business, which would be equivalent to Google Workspace. So if you wanted to be in the Apple world exclusively with all your stuff, and I don't know if they have like word processing and Excel spreadsheet equivalents like Google has. I don't know. I didn't hear that. So I would guess that they would have all that kind of stuff and PowerPoint equivalent apps, slides, all that kind of stuff. But Apple Business coming out, which will be similar to Google Workspace. No chance of me trying it or caring about it. But if you are in the Apple world and that sounds appealing to you, go for it. Ads coming to Apple Maps, they also mentioned. So on Apple Maps, you'll be able to run ads. So again, they've had Apple Business Connect, which is the equivalent of Google Business Profiles for a while now. So if somebody's on an Apple phone and they don't purposely download the Google Maps app and use that, if they go to the Maps app on their phone and Google Realtor near me, best plumber, pizza near me, whatever they Google, it will be based on Apple Business Connect profiles and or Yelp profiles. They used to have a contract with them. I thought it ended, but I feel like they still pull stuff from Yelp now. But it'll be based on their own stuff. It's not going to be pulling in Google Business Profiles on an Apple phone, on Apple Maps specifically. And I get screenshots all the time. Why does my profile look like this? Or my profile's not on here or something. Like that's because that's Apple Maps and not Google. So make sure you're on Apple Business Connect if you want to be. And then sounds like they're going to have some ads coming to Apple Maps too. So that would be local ads that would apply to us. When I hear more or know more, we could try to run some of those and see if they do anything for us. So ads coming to Apple Maps. It just really those two things is a play for small businesses and to start catering to small businesses more, getting a workspace equivalent and then having local ads. That's really the whole thing is a play, and looks like they are wanting to target small and local businesses more and get some market share of that. So we'll see how that turns out. Me being me, obviously I'm completely against it. We'll never use it and bah humbug on it. But who knows? People like the Apple world, but I feel like you're closed off then from everything. Google's just so everywhere. Google Turbo Quant. This is going to go past everybody's head, so I'll just go past it quickly, probably. Google, another breakthrough by Google. I mentioned a while ago that they built the transformer, the architecture that all the LLMs and models run on right now. Some of them are, all of the LLMs are working on other ways to run them, but the transformer, the main way that all the LLMs have been run, invented by Google and then open sourced and given out to the world. They now have made another breakthrough of Turbo Quant. It is a compression algorithm structure for AI. The reason it's important is because it allows them to, unlike, I think it replaces the transformer is how I understand it, or supplements it probably. Again, this is getting a little past me, but it allows them to use six times less memory required for the system to remember the context, what you were talking about, what it needs to remember, universally what they need to remember about that chat specifically or that task, yada, yada. So 6 times less memory required with this compression algorithm at 8 times the speed increase. So 6x less memory, 8 times speed increase, and 0 accuracy loss. So usually when you're speeding things up or shortcutting, like for instance, if you went into the Gemini app, or Claude, I guess has different versions, but Gemini is very easy to distinguish because there are choices: fast, thinking, and pro, and it kind of tells you there. And fast is going to think less and give you a faster answer and use less tokens also. But thinking is going to take a little bit longer and give you a more thought out answer. So the reason why this matters is on a large scale, especially for businesses and enterprise level, they have to think on the token level. How much are we spending? How much are we spending on compute and AI? And how much do we need to cut back or whatever? Because you can overkill. If you click use deep thinking every time, you're using like 1 million tokens. I don't know if that's the number, but you're using 1 million tokens for it to think through something that is also going to take 5 times as long, 5 minutes for it to do all this stuff, when you could have used the fast version and gotten an answer literally kind of instantaneously, and it's the same answer. So this really allows smarter models and just a shortcut to making things faster, making everything more efficient. Again, 6 times less memory, 8 times speed increase, 0 accuracy loss, because that's always the fear, that it gets less accurate when you do stuff like that. Or if you compress an image and send it, you're losing some of the image. Or with music, you're losing some of the music. That's what compression does. But somehow this algorithm does not lose anything. And if you want to learn more about it, I've gone down the rabbit hole with stuff that made my head explode. But essentially, Google just has made another breakthrough in making AI better, faster, smarter. Add name in other languages. Oh, adding a name in other languages on your GBP. I did not know about this. I think this was Darren Shaw's podcast. I forget. But essentially, you can, and this applies especially if you speak another language or you live somewhere where lots of people speak another language, or there's just another language of people you want to target. That's what I was thinking. You could use this. So on Google, you can change your language. So if somebody has their language changed to Russian and they Google stuff, when they look at your Google business profile, it will be in Russian. It will be translated into Russian, other than, as I understand it, the name. So if you want, there's a little button where you can switch the language that you're viewing. So I would go to my Google business profile. I would switch to French or Russian or whatever, in this case, Russian. So now I'm viewing the Russian version of my Google business profile translated into Russian. And then I click what's going to say in Russian now, but in English, it would say suggest and edit. You click that, and now it's going to give you a spot with 2 places. You'll see your name, and then it gives you the ability to add the name translation in another language. So if you wanted to be super ninja and you wanted to target a certain language, that's a little extra step you could take to target a demographic or people speaking a certain language by putting in a custom title. So then after that custom title for Russian is input in there, then when I do that next time, my title, my name on my Google business profile should be in Russian when I look at it that same way. Does this matter for real estate agents? I don't know that it does, really, because nothing's going to change for real estate agents other than the words real estate agent. Realtor is a trademark term, so there's no translation for that. That's a brand term. So if I'm Derek Bixler, realtor, space Coldwell Banker Realty. If you're taking notes, that's exactly how you should name yours. My name is my name no matter what language. The realtor is realtor no matter what language. And the brokerage is the brokerage no matter what language. So if it had real estate agent, I guess if you have real estate agent instead of realtor on yours, you could maybe do it. And then it's going to say whatever Russian is for real estate agent, or Hindi or whatever. Is Hindi a language? Now I'm showing my ignorance. I think that I've selected Hindi. Anyhow, so you can put a new name. I didn't know that. I think it's been around for a while, but I saw that and was like, oh, I don't know that. Got to mention that. So I'm actually going to try it. I didn't have a chance to try it yet, but I am going to do it and probably do the typical ones. I mean, why not do all? I mean, I guess I can't do it. I could do it for my search bomb. No, because search bomb is just called search bomb. I'm trying to think when it would even apply, really. I guess it would apply if you had some really long, I think the example he used was some bistro. So a lot of the words, downtown, sandwich and chips, bistro, and breakfast diner. That was the name of the business. So those are a lot of regular words that do translate into something. So that makes sense there. So makes sense in some instances, but if it's your brand name, or, and I mean, I guess theirs is their brand name, but the words translate. So if your brand name translates, so search bomb, does that translate? I guess there would be a Russian word for search and a Russian word for bomb. So I guess I could do search bomb, Google business profile that way, but real estate ones, really not, unless it's just changing the word real estate agent, which why not? If you do have real estate agent on there, I don't know that it's worth switching it if it's already realtor. But if you are using real estate agent rather than realtor, maybe you do this. Look up what are the most common languages near me. I'm guessing it's most people are going to be Spanish, and then a couple others. Like here we have a lot of Himalayan people, Nigerians, I think, and a couple others. We tend to be a place where people relocate from those, like refugee places or whatever. But if you're the only realtor that's going to pop up and cater to them, probably get some business out of it. So anyhow, add your name in other languages if you want to. Post update as a customer. I'm not even going to talk about that one because I didn't look into it and don't really remember what that one was. The next one I definitely tried and I'm kind of loving. They just dropped Google Live in Google AI Studio. So if you go to Google AI Studio, just go there and see it. It is a place where you can access basically kind of like the higher end back end versions of all their stuff. If you go to the Gemini app, it's got video creation, it's got the music creation. You can build apps and websites and deep thinking and talk to it and do all the stuff. If you go to Google AI Studio, it's kind of like the back end, higher end version of those things with a little bit more tweaking and things. Sometimes you can get better outputs. Or just different outputs. So they just dropped in Google AI Studio Talk to Gemini Live, which they've been teasing for a while, and it just now dropped. And you can, on my Android phone, I can actually do it outside of Google AI Studio. But essentially, you can talk to Google, click the little microphone, and then you can either just talk to it, or you can share your webcam, or if you're on your cell phone, you can share obviously your cell phone cam, and or you can share your screen, and then it sees whatever you're seeing, whatever's on the webcam or screen, and you can talk to it about it. So if you need help setting up a website or a widget, or you need help setting up your Lofty. I don't know if it would know Lofty or that kind of stuff where you have to have a password to get into the back end. Sometimes they don't know that stuff. But if you need help with stuff that it can access readily, I would think that it can see your screen and walk you through the stuff. Up until now, I kind of take a screenshot and say, hey, what does this mean? What should I do? What are they asking for here? And it'll tell me. I drop that screenshot into Gemini. It tells me and works pretty well. But here, you could just share your screen, talk back and forth, even verbally. That's the whole point. You're verbally talking back and forth with it. and it can walk you through stuff and do things, and you can do it for free. Um, it will stop you at some point, I believe. I was talking to it for a while this morning, and it didn't stop me for anything. So you can go in there, and then if you want to do it more, you can set up an API key, which is getting too much for this room. But if you want to check that out, you can check it out. It works great. The latency, meaning time from you stopping talking to it talking back to you, is really quick. That's one of the things that they're, every time that any of these models come up with updates, they're trying to make that as quick as possible. Also, the interrupting is really good. If it's talking and you interrupt, it is very quick to stop talking, listen, and then react and talk back. You can give it special instructions. So in Gemini, for sure, like you could click the button to talk back and forth in Gemini, but there are some differences. One of the differences here is obviously, like I said, you can share your webcam or your screen and have it see those things. Even real world, like if you're at the gym and you're like, what's this machine? How do I do it? You could talk back and forth with Gemini and it would walk you through doing that for sure. That's one of the big examples they use, actually, is like workout stuff or shopping. They love to use it for shopping because that makes them money if you use their stuff to go buy stuff on Google. Anyhow, webcam share screen is one of the differences. And then you can also give system instructions. So if you wanted it to be, take a role of a teacher with a thick Irish accent, who is like my accountability partner and scolds me and slaps me with a ruler and blah blah blah. You could have one that kind of is like that, and when you ever turn that one on, it would be that. Or I want it to be this certain voice and have these characteristics or whatever, and you can save different ones in there and then select the one you want to interact with, and it will keep that persona when it talks to you. In Gemini, it's not quite gonna do that. You can also ground it in Google search, so you can make sure it's connected to Google search. So if it's talking to you, it can go search things out and find things out and bring information back. And you can also set up function calling, meaning you could talk back and forth with it about stuff, and then it would be able to go actually perform tasks on your behalf. Not that easily. It takes, I just started going down the rabbit hole. It's a bit complicated to set up functions now, especially for this room, but it's coming to where it's going to be more fully agentic, which is kind of what this is. It's kind of giving you an insight into full agent, the Jarvis, the everything doing, seeing thing. If it can see via cameras and see your screen, and you can talk back and forth, and it can hear, it can literally listen. Actually, that's one of the, I looked up what are the differences between using the talk back and forth Google Live, so to speak, in Gemini app, and what is the difference between that and using it in AI Studio? And the ear versus the transcript. Gemini app, the app often uses a two-step process. It transcribes what you say into text. And by the way, this is what most of the LLMs probably do when you're talking back and forth with them. The app often transcribes what you say into text, and then AI reads the text and replies. While it feels fast, it can miss your emotional tone or the vibe of your voice. So it's not actually hearing you. It's making words out of what you said, reading the words, and then coming back at you. If it can get the vibe or voice or whatever out of the words you said, maybe it would pick that up. But it's not picking out tone or raising a voice or anything actual sound wave wise at all. Whereas with Google AI Studio, multimodal live API, which means nothing to anybody in here, this uses native audio. The model literally hears the sound waves. In 3.1 Flash Live, this means it can detect pitch, pace, and acoustic nuances, like if you're out of breath or being sarcastic, without needing to turn your voice into text first. It responds to the sound of you, not just the words of you. So it's truly listening to you and hearing you. And when it's seeing something video-wise, it's seeing that. I will add, though, if you are sharing screen and play a video, it can only see the screen. It cannot hear the audio on your screen. So I talked back and forth with it and said, well, and that's got to be coming soon. But I said, okay, so how do I do that? And so if you wanted to, I could just do the webcam and then hold a video up to the webcam and you could watch it and see it and listen to it and all the stuff. So it can literally hear, see all the things, which again is a glimpse into robots. It being like, this is kind of a brain. You just stick this thing into a robot and it's a thing that can see, talk back to you. You can interrupt, have conversations with it. You can tell its voice to be anything you want. It can see things. It can hear things. It really is kind of an AI brain. So another step towards all that. You can try it out, play with it in AI Studio if you want to. And again, it should be free to try out for anybody. I think I do have the pro membership, but I don't think it requires anything to play with it, at least. And you could also use it if you wanted to. The reason it's in Google AI Studio is if you built an app or a website or something, or wanted to integrate being able to talk to AI into your app or website, you could use Google AI Studio to integrate Gemini live onto your website. Theoretically, you could have like a chatbot using this with whatever voice you would want it to have on your website, talking to people or answering your phone for customer service or all that kind of stuff. But kind of fun to check out, especially if you need walked through something. I would highly encourage maybe trying that to get walked through doing something functionally on the computer. Share your screen, say, hey, I'm trying to do this thing. This is where I'm at. How do I do this? And it should be able to walk you through it rather than doing the screenshot version like before. And the last thing I got here, Siri will be able to. Siri, it's a rumor right now, they said, but Siri soon will be able to access, or they're working on it, be able to access any AI model you want. So up until now, Siri has sucked, and it's kind of their own being that they control and have coded and all that stuff. They have tried plugging into ChatGPT. There was a deal with them for a while. And like I said, Gemini is their AI that's powering. So I'm guessing the Siri is powered and built on Gemini, Google's AI infrastructure. But then when you use Siri, you can tell your phone to then, when I ask you things, go use ChatGPT to do this, or go use Claude to do this thing, or go use whatever. So soon Siri should be able to access any AI model you want, which for Apple makes sense. It's a play to keep up with Google and to be able to enter the race of the agentic race, and putting something in their ecosystem that can do all the things for you. So that would be a step towards, just like the Clawbot, the OpenClaw, or the Claude co-work with the Loop and all the agents that now are more autonomous and don't just wait for your direction. They will come back to you and ask you for more work to do, or they'll just go do things on their own if they're out of work or whatever. Going to that point where you can ask this thing to go do actual tasks for you. Go check my email, do this thing, go into ChatGPT, write an email, put the email in my Apple business email right there, and send it off to Jeff, or have me proofread it first. And once I okay it, send it off to Jeff or whatever you want it to be. It's taking them a little bit on that road. And really, again, they're just plugging into everybody else's stuff. They are not building any of the AI for the most part. They are plugging into Gemini for the back end, as I understand it. And then on the front end, you'll be able to speak with Siri, use Siri as your main contact person on your phone, but then it will be able to access whatever AI models you want and give it access to. So a couple Apple things there. Seem like they've been lagging behind in a lot of this stuff and now catching up a little bit, maybe. So good for them, possibly. So I think that's all I got. Anybody have any questions or anything related or unrelated to anything I went over? And if
Hey,
not,
Derek.
yo.
This is Monique. I mean, it's not directly related, but I just wanted to give you an update because last week I asked you what I should do with my profile on Google. I changed the name. It ranks better now, actually. But I realized that by plugging in the address, remember I was plugging in the address and I wasn't showing up. I'm still not showing up, but I realized that the top 3 that show up at this address have way more ratings than I do. So I guess that's where I need to focus on getting more, what do you call those? Ratings or reviews. Yes. I just realized that now.
Yep. And you are showing your address, right?
Yeah, so I just did, actually, while you were speaking, I was asking Gemini, how come I don't show up on the map when I'm logged out, but I do show up when I'm logged in? And it was saying that, first of all, I am verified. I do have my address toggled on, so I want people to see it. But I also had service areas that listed a whole bunch of cities. So Gemini recommended I remove all those service areas because it might confuse like the mapping. What do you call it? Whatever they called it. So I just removed those, but it might take 30 days to update. So we'll see what happens.
Ugh. I would add those back.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Why?
In the service areas section under edit profile, it gives you 20 slots to fill up.
Yeah.
You want to fill up every single one of them. It doesn't necessarily help you rank at those places because, like we know, you rank in proximity to where you're located. But it does kind of, if somebody's searching from a place, it will say this person serves : and then calls out based on where they're located. And if you don't have Timbuktu selected, it might not say serves Timbuktu. It might say serves Montreal, not Timbuktu or whatever. Also, you might, so it doesn't help.
I'm gonna get in trouble,
but it might help you sometimes if you select areas that are kind of like BF Egypt, and nobody else has it selected. If someone is in BF Egypt and they look for a realtor, the proximity thing kind of goes away because everybody's kind of far away. So now it's picking who's called that place out as a service area. So in general, best practices for the service areas is you start with, I don't know if Canada has counties or an equivalent for counties.
We have cities, little cities. So sorry. We have the provinces, not the, so you guys have the states and I guess the counties and then the cities within those counties. We have the country, the province, and the cities.
Yeah. So in Canada's case, you would just max out all 20 slots with your most important cities that you care about the most. And then if you're in the States, you would start with the counties that you serve, which is usually like 1 to 4 for most people. Everything should be within 2 hours too. I didn't say that because it is a local thing and they want your stuff to be like not the whole province. Technically you could because your license does the whole, but definitely not the whole country for sure.
No.
And usually within 2 hours is what they want. So max it out. If you're in the US, put your counties in first because I can't say, it doesn't know what central Pennsylvania is. That's not like an incorporated thing that has defined boundaries. So I need to put in Cumberland County, Dauphin County, the counties that comprise central Pennsylvania or the ones that I want to serve. So that's usually 2 to 4. And then you would fill up the other 16 slots or so with all the key cities, obviously starting with where you are first. If you wanted to, I don't know that it makes a difference, but some people like to or test it if you want to. And you shouldn't be changing your service areas, even though that typically doesn't trigger a re-verification needed. If you're in there fooling around anything in the edit profile tab a lot and changing it like 3 times in 1 week, it could get hairy.
So should I put it back?
In your case, I would probably wait a couple months before I would do anything probably.
So don't update it right now? I mean, it doesn't matter.
Wait if it were
Really?
I mean, if you already did it, anything in that tab, they hate, or if you change your categories and like mistakenly put a wrong one in there, and then the next day you notice and delete it, you're like, well, that was true. I'm not a plumber, or I'm not. It just doesn't like when you're wishy-washy or changing settings like in there. So if you just change it, I would let it rest for a few months and then change it again. I mean, you're probably okay, but I don't want
Okay, you know what? We'll test it. I'll be the guinea pig.
well, while you're changing it, before you save it, here's the other thing you could try if you want to
Uh-huh.
test is a lot of times you have zip codes up there, right?
Yes. Postal code.
Sometimes you can input redundant things in there. So if you want to be like, I really all about Montreal, you could type in Montreal and then it'll have Montreal and you select that. But then you could type in all the zip codes for Montreal and select, and they sometimes may or may not show up, but sometimes there will be separate zip codes that you also select separately. So again, if they're within Montreal, it's redundant and probably redundant to Google and probably, I would guess, doesn't do anything. But why wouldn't it think I'm more serious if all 20 or as many as I can put in there, like do Montreal and then do all the zip codes for Montreal and then do the next closest, most important city and then all the zip codes for that city and kind of follow that for all 20 would be maybe a way to test it also. But that is another way you could do it. Or sometimes people is just like, these are all the ones I can think of and I got 5 slots left. And then I'm like, okay, let's go back and do the zip codes and compound on the place we're sitting or we really want to compound on, if that makes sense.
Okay, we'll keep you posted.
Again,
Thanks.
probably overthinking it. The reviews part that you mentioned is the best part. But yes, Gemini was wrong in that case, I think.
Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, well, it's okay. Thank you.
I mean, it was kind of right in a way because if a human's looking at it, then it's going to say, well, I want the person that specializes, but to rank wise, no, not. Yeah. All right. Oh, at 10. All right. Anybody have any questions or anything? I haven't been watching hand raising or anything.
Hey, Derek, this is Lisa.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for talking to me the other day. I did exactly what we talked about as far as re-verifying with my new address and did the video on Sunday. I did notice today that I got re-verified. I saw that all of my updates were gone, so now I've got to redo my updates, but it worked. Just wanted to let you know, give you an update.
Sweet. And I'm going to ask a follow-up question. And
Sure.
if you did it, you're a ninja. And if you click on your edit profile tab, does it show any changes in there as pending, or is everything not pending?
Okay, wait a minute. Say that again. Where now?
If you clicked on the edit profile tab, which is all those main settings, name, blah, 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 does it show any of the settings in that tab as you scroll down as pending, or is everything solid?
Everything's, doesn't say anything pending.
It's pending. Because it would say, it would be obvious. It would say pending, may take up to 30 days, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. It sounds like you're fully verified. Because nowadays you do the video and they kind of quasi-verify you right away, but really they're still watching your video and your changes are pending. And then at some point they take effect. But it sounds like yours, and that's fast. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome. I noticed that, like on where it says your business on Google, when I had changed it, obviously, instead of having the little verified check mark, it had a red mark, and everything said pending. If I scroll down, everything said pending. Even all my photographs that I had in there said pending, and then now I have the verified check mark, and nothing says pending anymore. So
yep, and I just pulled it up, and I can see all your photos and. Says verified on my tool thingy.
Okay.
So yeah, sweet. All right, go get reviews.
I know. I got to get some more reviews and put some more updates, since that was the only thing. All my updates disappeared. So I put one in this morning, but all my old ones aren't visible on my side. So
how many were there?
I would update quite frequently. So, there were a bunch.
Oh, updates.
The updates. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes those will, or if you
Yeah.
get suspended or verified or something, those go away sometimes.
Yeah. But that's all right. As long as the rest of it looks good, I'm happy.
Sweet.
So, thanks.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Questions, comments? All right. Sweet. The outro will be that music, the song that I talked about at the beginning, made by the new music generation. So if I can find it, here we go. Outro. And those who like country, you'll like this. Heather, I know you're gonna like it. I made it just for you. Here you go.
I planted seeds in the fertile field of the map, watching the silver clouds of the algorithm gap. Built a shingle on the edge where the light turns to gold, finding the stories in the houses that are yet to be told. From the Gemini heart, the Gemini 2 local road we find, leave the analog shadows of the worry far behind. Oh, we're climbing up the search to the mountaintop, climbing the mountain where the connection starts and the weary heart won't stop, heart won't stop. With the Google for real estate light in our hand.
Let's get it done. Clicks and reviews, we're number one. Reputation's key, we'll show you how. AI's the future, the time is now. Google for real estate, let's go.